Hi, it's Vol here. This last weekend I was at Ides of March, which is a War Machine and Hordes tournament in Auckland run by Dave Stent. It's his first big tournament, and we're hoping it will be a regular one in Auckland every year. Now, I was planning on taking Kador. It's going to be 42 points, 2 lists, but the new Kador stuff that I ordered for my army, which were going to be Nis Hunters with Velichev and Winter Guard and Mortars for P. Vlad, didn't show up in time, so I went with Protectorate of Menoth, and in this first photo you can actually see all the models I'm using here. One of my casters is Harbinger, the other one is Epic Fiora, and they're just sharing the models pictured on this piece of cardboard. Now, I've managed to purchase myself a new camera, finally, so after all these years of terrible photography, hopefully it should look a bit better as I become more experienced using that camera. I should point out, though, that some of the pictures in the battle reports won't be taken by me because the camera did run out of juice on the second morning, so I did get some pretty good photos, though. Just looking at this next picture, we did a painting competition, which is really the only look at everybody's stuff, but you're only able to enter one large-based or huge-based model for the competition, so you can actually see my big yellow adjudicator with the flaming sort of reclaimer pose in the middle there, but you can see some other great entries, some Kraken, Stormwall from Josh, and just a nice assortment there, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, a pretty big tournament because we initially expected like 42 people. It actually went down to about 32, 35 after some people unfortunately pulled out. But in New Zealand, we don't often get tournaments this big, and it was great to see a very big tournament, especially in Auckland, where we've had trouble getting the political sort of backing, organising, the events around here with the locals. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into the first game. It was up against my friend Matt, who had grudged me, and a grudge is where you agree to play a certain person for the first run of the tournament and it's not done by a random draw. So he's playing Kador with Epic Irisk and Epic Sorcerer, and he's taken Epic Sorcerer against my Fiora, and the scenario is this one here. We've got to actually destroy their 2 objectives on the other side of the zone in the middle, so destruction I think it is. And in this one, I basically sent my guys forward and used ancillary attack and everything to try and set his guys on fire. Didn't mini-feat on the first turn with the Zealots, but when he moved up and started shooting me, took a few casualties, but allowed me to get into a position to do my feat after moving with the Zealots and with Fiora, shifting the fire to Ayana and Holt, actually managing to kill them, which is a big deal because once they drop your armor and Sorcerer feats, then anything's possible. So that's this photo here where Epic Fiora is camping behind one of the objectives next to the wall with escort up. I think 8 focus thanks to the rack and the feat. Was pretty good, and I've got a lot of Zealots in the middle, but he's in his following turn he's able to, the turn after they mini-feat, a lot of them get wiped out. So on the right-hand flank, I've had some Winter Guard Rifle Corps. He didn't actually take the Salmon Winter Guard Infantry, which is really weird with Epic Sorcerer, but he just wanted to play it this way, and got Rovin and his boys trying to stop them from swinging around the flank and shooting me. But what it comes down to is Matt panics given the fact that I've shut down focus allocation to the Conquest using Iris, and I've killed Iron and Holt. I've killed a lot of his Iron Fangs, and my guys are still fine. He's actually tried to charge Epic Fiora with his caster, first casting Cyclone, then charging the objective, and then buying attacks on Fiora, which doesn't really work. Even though Sorcerer's feated, it's dice minus 12, she's like power 13, I'm camping for armor 25, and even if you roll strip 6 on the first attack, that's a maximum of 12 damage, and he only had 1 focus left to buy a single attack, and it's dice minus 12, so there's no way he can inflict any further damage on me. So in the last photo here shows the Judicator walking around in her back arc with the Choir buff to just destroy her. And it was a bit disappointing the game ended this way because it meant that I couldn't score any control points, and if I drop even a single game this weekend, it's going to mean that I'm probably going to be behind on control points against some of the many other players who will obviously be lossless or one of the games just due to the sheer size of the field. So I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable, but at least I've managed to bag a win straight up. So second game against Scorn, which pleases me because Harbinger really shuts them down, and he's gone for Mordecai with the Kovas and everything, and basically pretty standard close quarters matchup. We both sort of head towards the middle, but things work out pretty well for me because what I'm able to do after shooting up some of his guys and feating and stopping from moving forward is to eventually just get the Avatar over next to his flag and wiping out my errants of shot to death any of the slingers within range of 4 of it, and Harbinger dominates my flag, and with the feet up the previous turn I'm in a pretty good position. Nothing can really barge through without the errants either passing tough rolls or getting martyrdom. Harbinger has camped a 25 armour with the extra rack focus, and I'm on 3 control points, so all I need to do is not die and then kill anything next to my control point or his control point, and really be in the lead there with victory points, with control points, sorry. What happens though is he sends in this Kovas guy that I've never faced before, and the Kovas is incorporeal, and that's how he's able to charge through the errants who have magical crossbows but not magical swords. And with Mordecai's feet and last stand on this guy, he's attacking 4 times because he's got 4 souls on him, and each attack is fully boosted with 4 dice, not dropping the last or anything. It's just fully 4 dice and 4 for damage. So I was just shaking in my boots here as he rolled his dice, but unfortunately for him didn't get the above averages he needed to kill Harbinger, and I won the game shortly afterwards. But fuck, that was scary. So next game had me up against Ian, who I've known for 18 years, since I was 10. Me and Ian go way back. We've played lots of systems together, but due to his family, he's really been out of the loop with the scene, so he's really out of practice. But he's picked Epic Thagros here. His other caster was P. Vale, and I've of course gone for Harbinger being the lock against Hordes. And this one is the scenario where you can dominate 1 on your zone to the left, or I think it is 3 on the zone to the right, or get 1 from killing their objective. And Harbinger moves up in feet straight away, and that causes him to later on shift his army to one flank completely. And after I saw him do that to respond to my feat, I knew that the rest of the game was going to be a matter of me just fending him off into that corner while I kept scoring on my zone. And if he turned into an attrition fight to make mistakes and try and charge me, then I just simply counterattack. So that was generally the plan. He did pretty well, killing a lot of errants and getting his raptors in there. One mistake that I made was thinking that my paladins had reach. It's not true. Only Vilman has reach. So you see one photo here where there's a paladin on the right who I think is engaging 3 raptors, but he's not engaging them at all. And neither me or my opponent knew that, but going to the next photo, he then charges my Reckoner, and one mistake that he made was to forget that his raptors actually would have to take an abomination check from Thagros, which he only remembered after dealing massive damage to my Reckoner, so I guess we're even in that regard. But I've killed both of his Angelii, and things are looking pretty good for me until the point where we realised that Thagros is just in charge range of Harbinger. I was a dunce and didn't put her out of charge range. And he puts up Manifest Destiny, needs slightly higher than average dice rolls to kill her, I think, with max focus being camped. And, he starts rolling up and gets a pretty good roll on damage at one point, and then needing an 11 on 4 dice, dropping the lowest, misses. So that seals the game for me right there, but I did get a little bit lucky to avoid that. But again, I should have just been smarter and kept her back a little bit further. 4th game up against Chris, my main rival over the last year. You guys have seen me play him in many finals, battle reports, and other high-pressure games, and he's playing Epic Gatsby again, which is kind of getting me down because Epic Gatsby is such a hard caster to beat. I would actually love to play Epic Gatsby myself because I love his model, I love the fluff, I love the style of the way he plays, but the fact that he's just too easy to win with, there's so few ways for your opponent to deal with him effectively, I just can't stand that. I prefer, to play games that involved, a bit more tactics, a bit more strategy than sort of hitting the auto win button a lot of the time. But I've gone with Fiora and tried to thin out the screens of guys with my Judicator and Vanquisher, but it's going to require a lot of really good scatter rolls, and in the first couple of turns didn't really get any of the good deviations that I needed. So in my turn 3, I think it was, or turn 2, I've actually run all the Zealots in front, set like 6 Zealots on fire with the Vanquisher, and then spread the fire to as many thralls as possible. I've got Gatsby on fire as well. So this is my way of thinning out a lot of guys. Hopefully he can't actually kill Fiora while she's camping, 8 focus plus escort, so that'll keep me alive from the feet for a little while. So coming to the next turn, Chris is basically just doing what he can, ignoring my guys in some cases, and getting into, in fact, put corrosion all over the Zealots while they're under the feet, which is a smart move. Iris, unfortunately, in combat with the Bone Chicken in the far flank, which she can possibly survive a 3-strike from. And the Blood Witch is coming on the left flank to engage a lot of my guys here with the mini feet too. So not too much I can do about them. And what happens, obviously, is that Fiora's put into a situation where the Zealots are all starting to die. Gaspy's got his feet up his sleeve with a lot of Banes to bring back. The Judicator has managed to survive a few of the Banes' attacks, and Fiora simply runs behind the Judicator to try and get to the zone. I tried to kill the last Thrall to dominate, but didn't have enough activations to do it, so not even any control points at the stage. So what happens in a little while is that Gaspy moves up to the middle of the table, puts down the 10 Thralls, and then starts moving them. And I point out that he's forgotten to actually finish the rest of Gaspy's activation, so he doesn't actually teleport back. And although the Thralls, as you can see this next picture, wipe out the Judicator and kill a lot of my army, the Thralls are then removed from the table. So Fiora actually 5 steps around the wreck, charges Gaspy in the most pedantic possible way, and the tournament organizer and a lot of other onlookers are spectating the game, and the call is made that I'm literally 1 millimetre, that's a single millimetre out of charge range of Gaspy. And this is after Iris has survived a free strike from a bone chicken to actually shoot Gaspy and strip him of focus and hellbound. So Fiora goes in there with 4 focus left, and this would be sealing the game for me, and really putting me ahead, not having to play Chris again after this. But it was not to be, and I lost, as you can see from the next photo, with Thralls bashing Fiora. So next image, up against David Dawn, who really close friend, and he is a guy that used to play 40k. I actually managed to get him into War Machine. I've been training him, teaching him how to play, so it's really interesting to be up against him. He's done very well this tournament. I've gone with Fiora thinking that he would take his other cast at Terminus, but he's gone with Scabrous, so it could actually be a little bit harder than I bargained for, with not much stuff to set on fire, but I've got the Judicator. So what happens in this game is we both amble on to the middle of the field. I do my typical Zealot screen and then move in to set a few guys on fire. Most notably, his actually managed to destroy his Scarlock Thrall, which I really wanted to get rid of earlier on. But I've also moved the objective in my side of the field through to the template to the left, which will allow me to dominate that one after a while without Fiora having to go over there. So what he does is he's got Erebus and he's got his Harrow moved up. He put down a funny Feast of Worms on his own Erebus to kill some of my Zealots nearby, but that will actually drop the armour of that guy by 2. So when Judge Judy moves in to take out the trash, as you can see in the next photo here, she actually kills 2 Jacks in the same activation, smashes the Erebus, smashes the Harrower, and puts some Zealots in front of Deathjack, who has been disrupted by Iris. So should be safe here. But what ends up happening is Deathjack moves over here and actually attacks Judicator, doing some decent damage on him, pretty good dice rolls. And then after that, the Withershadow Combine move in and just roll absolutely astonishing damage on the Judicator, killing it when it should have survived with a few boxes, could have repaired it, and actually managed to duke out the game for a little while, putting me into a really good situation. But it was not to be, and what I tried to do here is move the Vanquisher and kill Deathjack, but not rolling particularly well as far as I remember. Did pick up a little bit of good luck though with Rovan and his boys killing the Bone Chicken, contesting my objectives, so the plan here is just to survive and run with Fiora and get a control point. So what he does is he basically tries clearing up, and the camera that I bought ran out of battery power at this point, and I forgot to bring the charger, so I took a really couple of crappy pics with my iPhone camera. You can see a blurry shot of Deathjack trying to trample over to Fiora, and then TK her into combat and then try killing her. And he rolls like a monstrous amount of damage on her. And in the next couple of turns, what happens is that I try to kill Deathjack, but I don't manage it. And he basically swings at me or something, and Fiora's on like 1 box. That's how close this game is. He did a massive damage roll, like rolling a 10 on 2 dice with one of his last attacks, reducing it to 1 box. So with me putting my guys in front of Fiora, I've actually got 3 control points at the stage. So he needs to come in and assassinate me or run stuff into the zone. So his plan here is to put TK Scabrous, put Ghost out himself, then charge to the Rex at my guys, and then maybe attack Fiora or cast a spell at her. But he forgets to cast Ghost on himself, charges through the wreckage, doesn't have enough range to get to my guys, and loses his activation, so I end up winning. But I felt like I really stole that game, to be honest. Didn't really deserve the win after what happened in the centre, but again, he did get quite lucky killing the Judicator, so who knows. The next game saw me up against a guy called Will from Christchurch. Never played him before. He was also playing Menoth, and I didn't actually have my camera, as I said, so Will was kind enough to send me an email with the photos that he took in this game. So these pictures are taken from my opponent's side of the field, and it's Epic Fiora against Harbinger. Didn't really want to go Fiora versus Fiora because I felt his list was better. He had more jacks than I did, so he'd be able to go in and mangle my Adjudicator pretty easily, I felt, with Ignite. So he's got some Zealots. I move out in feet, but the plan is just to bank towards one side of the zone and try and win this in scenario. But it's going to be hard because the errants aren't going to be too useful this game. They're not going to be able to kill much, and they're going to be dying to fire very, very easily. What ends up happening is that I have a string of bad luck going in to try and kill both his Crusader and the objective in the same turn, trying to score in my turn 2, but I don't manage it, so I have to wait for turn 3 to try and get that elusive 2 points. But to make matters worse, he actually destroys both the objectives himself, picking up the 2 points, and that means I can't sort of get the 3-point then 2-point win, if you guys know what I mean. So, in a desperate situation, he's got his Vanquisher over here, which has killed my Reckoner. I've moved the Avatar just along to the side of one of the other zones, so I've got a charge angle if I kill the Zealots in the way. So going to this last photo here, my Avatar charges his Vanquisher, killing it. I do score on that turn for 2 points, but then he moves the Zealots in and so forth. And he attacks the Avatar in the back arc, so no shield, with Ignite on the Vanquisher and 3 focus on the Vanquisher, and rolls horrendously low dice rolls. We're expecting 40 plus damage. He's got the ancillary attack from the Vassal in there as well, but the Avatar survives on like 4 boxes, including his sword arm. So what I do is I move over and kill his Vassal, and the Avatar moves around and then smashes Fiora in the face. So didn't deserve to win that game, but I did. Had bad luck at the start, had better luck in the second half of the game, but I felt like he had a slightly better list and played a little bit better than I did as well. So didn't really feel comfortable winning that game, but hey, I mean, that's dice, and maybe next time I'll get smashed, and in some tournaments I do indeed get smashed. Which allowed me to somehow get to the final, because I'd actually eliminated all of the people who were sort of on only one loss and had lots of control points, such as the previous guy. So that meant I was up against Chris again for the final, and took a couple of snapshots with my my iPhone camera. You can actually see, there's actually a photo here of me. This is from Chris actually taking a photo of me during the game, so that's what it looks like to play against Vaul. And you can see Daniel Linder having a nap in the background. Nice. He's obviously not played a game this particular day. But in this grand final of finals, it's Harbinger versus Epic Gatsby. I realised that his Gatsby list doesn't have the Wither Shadow Combine, so I thought maybe I can put Fear of God on one of his units, like his Bane Knights or Blood Witches, and try and get a leg up that way. Plus the scenario is very central, allowing me to feat and hopefully get 3 control points and then maybe clear out the zone. So that's the plan. So he's got first turn, we both move up, and then I feat on my second turn, and that prevents him from moving any further forward, but he's got his Death Chicken just clipping that zone. So when he flicks the timer back to me, there are some clouds in the way, but in this other photo I took, the avatars run forward on the side of the clouds to actually smash his Bone Chicken, and the Reckoner moves up to destroy the objective, which I forgot would light all of my errants on fire, although I martyred him to survive with a few, and that nets me 3 points. But the problem is that Harvey's only camping 3 focus. She's cut herself 6 times, I think, to martyr. My opponent considered just purging all of his Banes, moving forward with Gatsby and defeating and killing Harbinger, but he decided not to. What happened instead is that he filled the zone with 8 thralls, killed a whole bunch of my guys, and just flicked it back to me. And to win, I knew that I'd have to actually wipe out the 8 thralls in the zone. I had a lot of activations left. I had both Paladins, Vilman, I had the Avatar to swing a few of the Banes just written right next to him after he survived against the Bane Knights. Note that the Bane Knights in this photo were actually affected by Fear of God, so couldn't charge the Avatar, so he actually was very resistant, dice -8 to their attacks. I had Harbinger there, I had the Reckoner, I had a lot of stuff, and what ended up happening is that I did all of my attacks. He had about 8 thralls in the zone, he passed 1 tough roll, and all of that, so when Harbinger finally came in to clear them all out with Cataclysm, she only needed to use her sword automatically hitting to kill them, and it meant that I won the game very luckily, and as you can see, I won a lot of close games this tournament. Felt like I robbed everybody, but I managed to win. Again, one of the biggest tournaments in New Zealand. So quite proud of that. But again, I felt I didn't exactly steamroll them. It was very close. But a really cool time was had by everybody at this particular event, and definitely enjoyed myself. Here's a photograph of us hanging out. This event was at a school, by the way, and this is half of the field hanging outside, enjoying the sun, while the tournament organizer, not pictured to the right, is handing out the prizes. And you can see me in the light blue collared shirt and pair of shorts on the steps in between Casey and Nick, with Chris in the foreground. But I hope you guys enjoyed the battle report. Hopefully have some more stuff for you in the next month or so. And yeah, catch you later.